Welcome to the Deep Dives, where we take a whole stack of research reports and articles and try to boil them down to the essential nuggets you need. Today, we're diving into the world of BioCryst Pharmaceuticals, a company developing oral medications
Okay.
for rare diseases. So they've got this star product, Orladeyo, that's really making waves, and we're going to try to figure out, is BioCryst a hidden gem in the pharmaceutical world?
So what's fascinating here is BioCryst's focus, like their laser focus on oral medications for rare diseases. It's a unique approach.
Yeah.
And you can see their commitment to it, looking at their history. They're not just dabbling in this, they're all in.
Yeah, it's like they found their lane and speeding ahead.
Right.
But how big is this rare disease market anyway?
Right.
Is it really a viable space for a company to thrive in?
It might surprise you, but the rare disease market is anything but small.
Okay.
It's projected to reach nearly $35 billion by 2029. So that's a massive opportunity. But of course, it comes with its own challenges.
Sure.
Developing drugs for rare diseases means you're dealing with smaller patient pools, which can make things like clinical trials more complex. And the research and development costs, let's just say they're not for the faint of heart.
Right. So it's a high-stakes game. Where does BioCryst fit into this complex landscape?
Yeah.
What are they doing that's making them stand out?
One word. Orladeyo.
Okay.
It's the first and only oral once-daily treatment for hereditary angioedema,
Okay.
or HAE. And that first-to-market advantage is huge. It's like striking gold in the pharmaceutical world. They've essentially cornered this market with a highly effective and convenient treatment.
That's a huge win.
Yeah.
But a company is more than just its products, right? What about the people leading the charge?
Right.
Can they maintain this momentum?
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, BioCryst's leadership is really a key factor in their success. Their CEO, John Stonehouse, has almost 20 years of experience at the helm. And he's steered the company through some pretty turbulent times, including the recent pandemic. And he's got this track record of securing FDA approvals and forging these crucial partnerships.
Yeah, he must have nerves of steel to navigate the world of pharmaceuticals for that long. But even with a seasoned captain, financial stability is crucial.
Right.
So are they sailing smoothly in that department?
So let's dive into the financials a bit.
Sure.
With a market cap of $1.64 billion and revenue of $413 million, they're definitely in the big leagues. However, their earnings per share are still negative.
Oh, that sounds a little concerning. Does that mean they're losing money? Should we be worried?
Not necessarily. I mean, they're heavily investing in growth, They're putting a lot of resources into R&D, expanding manufacturing capabilities, and building a global marketing presence. And they're projecting to turn profitable by the latter half of 2025.
So it's more of a calculated risk than a sinking ship.
Yeah.
But are there any signs that they're managing their finances responsibly?
Right.
Are they just spending recklessly, or is there a strategy in place?
What I find interesting is their approach to capital allocation.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing money around, it's very strategic. They're refinancing debts to improve their flexibility. They've secured additional funding to support these growth plans, and they're even forming these strategic partnerships
Okay.
to maximize their reach and resources.
So it sounds like they're playing the long game, but we'll delve deeper into that later. We've unpacked their business model. We've gotten a glimpse of their leadership and their financial picture. But how does the market perceive BioCryst?
Right.
What do the experts think?
Yeah, good question. Well, you're probably wondering what the buzz is around BioCryst.
Yeah, for sure.
The overall sentiment seems to be, cautiously optimistic. Analysts acknowledge the inherent risks in the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
But they see BioCryst's potential to become, like a dominant player in this rare disease market.
Cautiously optimistic. It sounds like they're walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
Are there any concrete indicators, though, that support this positive outlook? What are the analysts actually saying?
Well, analysts have set an average price target of $15.27.
Okay.
Which suggests, a potential upside from its current trading price.
Right.
Of course, there's a range of opinions, as you might expect.
Yep.
Some analysts setting targets as low as $8 and others as high as $30.
So there's a spectrum of possibilities, which makes sense in such a dynamic industry. But recent news seems to be pushing this stock in a positive direction. So what are some of the key developments that have caught the market's attention?
Well, Orladeyo sales have been exceeding expectations.
Okay, great.
And that's a major driver of the positive sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been, exciting progress in their drug development pipeline
Okay.
with some promising results from clinical trials for new potential treatments.
So it's like they're hitting all the right notes.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too carried away, let's shift our focus to the company's ownership structure.
Okay, yeah.
Who are the major players holding the reins?
So BioCryst has a high institutional ownership, which means that, a significant portion of the company's shares are held by these large investment firms,
Okay.
like mutual funds, hedge funds, pension funds, that kind of thing.
So it's the big league stepping up to the plate.
Right.
Does this signal a vote of confidence from the financial heavy hitters?
It's certainly a positive indicator. I mean, these institutional investors, they have teams of analysts
Right.
that, carefully scrutinize companies before they're making investments.
Yeah.
So their substantial holdings in BioCryst, suggest they see the company's potential.
That's reassuring. But we can't ignore the risks, right?
Right.
Every investment carries some level of uncertainty. What are some of the potential red flags that investors should be aware of when evaluating BioCryst?
So let's use a SWOT analysis to kind of break down these key factors.
Okay.
So starting with strengths, Orladeyo's success and long patent protection are major advantages. It provides them with this steady revenue stream
Right.
and a competitive edge for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Another strength is their clear path to profitability with positive earnings per share projected in the latter half of 2025.
So those are some solid pillars to stand on.
Right.
But what about the flip side? What are some of BioCryst's weaknesses that could hinder their progress?
Well, one concern is increasing competition in the HAE market.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other pharmaceutical companies are actively developing their own treatments.
Right.
So BioCryst will need to, stay ahead of the curve to maintain its market share.
Right.
Another potential weakness is their reliance on a single product,
Okay.
Orladeyo.
Mm-hmm.
While it's a blockbuster drug, any setback or unforeseen challenge with Orladeyo could significantly impact the company's overall performance.
It's like putting all their eggs in one very valuable basket.
Right, exactly.
But what about opportunities for growth?
Yeah.
Are there any avenues for BioCryst to expand its reach and diversify its offerings?
Well, they're exploring several exciting opportunities.
Right.
One is expanding the use of Orladeyo to new patient populations,
Oh, okay.
such as children under 12. Which could significantly increase their market.
Yeah.
They're also developing these promising new drug candidates
Okay.
in their pipeline targeting other rare diseases.
So it's reassuring to see them branching out,
Right.
not relying solely on one product.
Exactly.
But as with any company operating in such a dynamic industry, there are also potential threats looming on the horizon. What should investors be mindful of in the case of BioCryst?
Right. Well, the pharmaceutical industry is heavily regulated.
Mm-hmm.
So any changes in regulations, particularly around, drug approvals or pricing, could impact BioCryst's ability to operate effectively.
Okay.
We also can't ignore macroeconomic factors.
Yeah.
A downturn in the economy, rising interest rates or inflation. All these things could affect their growth prospects.
Okay.
And of course, the competitive landscape is always evolving, right?
Right.
New entrants or existing competitors could develop more effective treatments.
Yeah.
Or offer lower prices, which could challenge BioCryst's market position.
So it's a constant game of chess, anticipating and adapting to new challenges.
Exactly.
But it's not just about staying ahead of the competition, right?
Right.
What about their use of technology?
Right.
How are they leveraging innovation to enhance their operations and reach?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
BioCryst is embracing information and communications technology, or ICT,
Okay.
to streamline their operations. They're using it to enhance drug discovery, to improve the efficiency of clinical trials, and even to personalize patient engagement.
So it's not just about developing cutting-edge treatments. It's about using technology to to enhance every aspect
Yeah.
of their business. Can you give us a concrete example of how they're using ICT to improve patient engagement?
Yeah, sure. They've developed a mobile app for patients taking Orladeyo.
Oh. And the app, it allows patients to track their medication, to receive personalized reminders and dosage information, and even to connect with healthcare professionals directly.
That's a fantastic example of how technology can empower patients and improve their overall healthcare experience.
Mm.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I'd love to get your final thoughts on BioCryst. What key takeaways should our listeners keep in mind?
So BioCryst is a company with a bold vision
Okay.
to become a leader in the rare disease market.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a proven track record of innovation with Orladeyo,
Right.
a strong management team, and a commitment to responsible financial management.
Mm-hmm.
While they face challenges
Yeah.
like competition and regulatory hurdles,
Right.
their strategic approach to growth and their embrace of technology position them, very well for the future. It's been a fascinating journey exploring the world of BioCryst. We've uncovered their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We delved into their financials, their leadership, and their innovative use of technologies.
Remember, this deep dive is just a starting point for your own research. We've provided you with the key insights, but it's essential to delve deeper into the source material and form your own conclusions.
Don't forget to check out the links to all the research reports and articles we use for this episode. You'll find them in the episode description.
And if you have any thoughts or questions about BioCryst or any other company you'd like us to cover in a future deep dive, feel free to leave a comment below. We love hearing from our listeners.
And for more deep dives into the world of investing using the power of research and AI, be sure to subscribe to Stock Analytics AI on YouTube. We've got a whole lineup of fascinating episodes in store covering a wide range of industries and companies.
Just remember, all the information we present is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Until next time, happy investing.